again. So my name is Candace, and I am working on my Girl Scout Gold Award, which is basically the highest award that a Girl Scout can earn by doing a community service project. So for my project, I am teaching elementary school students about how to maintain and have a healthy lifestyle. So if you saw my last 3 videos, those were all about the first part, which was healthy eating. So now the second part, which I'll be starting with this video, is all about physical health. So what I'm going to be talking about today is different muscle groups, what you can do to stay active and stay healthy, and different stretches and exercises, and things like how to find your heartbeat and heart rate and what those things mean. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is kind of the importance of physical activity. Now I'm sure a lot of you get a lot of physical exercise or have a lot of physical activity on a daily basis, whether it be things like sports, maybe you play basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, anything like that, or just running around with your friends playing tag or something at recess. Those are all really great examples of physical activity, and that helps to keep your body nice and strong and you to stay active. So again, physical activity is really important because it helps you to stay active, and it helps your heart and it helps your muscles stay nice and healthy and strong. Now, the average or the recommended amount of time for physical activity that you should get in a day, it is recommended that you get about 60 minutes or about an hour of physical activity. So if you have maybe like a sports game that lasts for an hour or two, or again like during school, just running around with your friends for some time, that would all be really great physical activity. So now I'm going to talk about some of the different muscle groups or muscles in your body and some exercises and stretches that you can do to strengthen them. So I have a little diagram of the muscles that I'm going to be going over, and again this will be down below. I will attach this. So the first thing we have are the two of the muscles in your arms, so the bicep and the tricep. So I'll kind of show you on my body. So your bicep is on the front part, top part of your arm, so right there. So that is your bicep. Now the tricep, and this can get a little bit confusing, but the tricep is going to also be on your arm, but on the back. So if the bicep is here, then the tricep is going to be back here. So kind of like on the bottom or the back. So that is your tricep. And again, I'll be going over some exercises and stretches for these specific muscles after I go over all of them. So next here we have the abdominals, and that's kind of in your stomach area, the big muscle group in your stomach area. And I will show you later when I show you the exercises / stretches. So after that we have 3 muscles in your legs, so hamstring, quadriceps, and calf. So your quadricep is going to be the top part of your leg on the front, that big muscle group. Now the hamstring is also going to be on the top part of your leg, but on the back. And the calf is going to be on the lower part of your leg on the back. So again, here we go. So the hamstring is on the top part but on the back. The quadricep is on the top part but on the front, and the calf is on the bottom part and on the back. Now one thing before I get into the stretches or exercises, I want to talk about the importance of making sure that you exercise and work all these different muscles. And you don't want to just be focusing on one muscle or really trying to strengthen one muscle in particular, because it'll be a bit weird. Let's say you did a whole bunch of push-ups and your arms got really, really strong, but you were never doing any running or wall sits or anything like that, so your legs weren't really getting strengthened. So you have really, really strong arms, but your legs not so much. So what's important is to make sure that you maintain a balance throughout your body. And I talked a little bit about maintaining a balance in your diet in the previous videos about healthy eating with like the food groups. You want to make sure that you're eating foods from all these different food groups so that you can maintain a good balance. So it's the same thing for physical activity, where you want to be exercising all parts of your body to make sure that your whole body is strong and nice and balanced. All right, so now I will be going over some simple home exercises and stretches for a couple of the muscles that I just went over. So here's a little diagram of the ones I'll be going over, and again, this will be linked down below as well. So for the quadriceps, we have wall sits and wall sits or squats and the flamingo stretch. Abdominals, we have sit-ups and a cobra stretch. For the triceps, we have push-ups and arm pulls. In calf, we have heel raises and a calf stretch. So really quickly, the difference between a exercise and a stretch is that an exercise is used to strengthen and grow your muscles, whereas a stretch is used to, like it sounds like, to stretch it out, to loosen it up. And generally, you would want to stretch before you exercise and maybe stretch after you exercise as well. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate some of them. So the first one that we have is the quadricep. And again, your quadricep is going to be right there. So a stretch that we have is the flamingo stretch. And again, I'm sure a lot of you have maybe done this before playing your sport or just part of a stretching routine. So you take one leg, pull it back, stretch up, and you should feel a stretch right there in your quadricep. Just like that. Now, an exercise you can do is wall sits, or if you don't have a wall, you could just do regular squats, so like this, and squat down, and you should feel it again in your quadriceps. So that is the quadriceps. Now, the next muscle that I'm going to be showing in exercise slash stretch to is your abdominals, and your abdominals are right here. So an exercise is sit-ups, which looks like this. And you should feel, again, that right there. And a stretch for that is just lay on your stomach, going up like this, and stretch out that part of your stomach. Okay, so now the next one that I'm going to show you is for your tricep. And again, your tricep is back here, the back part of your upper arm. So the stretch that we have is called arm pulls. Put your arm over your shoulder and just pull it back like that. And so the exercise that we have is our push-ups. Okay, so now the last muscle that we have is the calf, and the calf is going to be right there. So on the bottom part of the back part of your bottom leg. So a stretch that we can do is find a wall or something, push against it, and just straighten out that back leg. And right now I'm feeling it right there in my right leg. And again, it's always important to stretch both sides so your body is even and balanced. And so the exercise for this is something called heel raises, where you can either stand against a wall or just by yourself and just raise onto your toes. All right, so those are the 4 stretches and exercises. Again, here's a little diagram of it. All right. So now let's talk about how you know that you have exercised. What are some things that go on in your body, kind of to let you know that you have just exercised? Maybe take a couple moments and just think about what happens to your body when you exercise. So maybe you said some things like you start breathing really hard, your heart starts beating really fast, you start sweating a lot. So those are all signs that you have exercised. Think about maybe after you play a basketball game, you walk off the court and you're breathing hard, you're hot, you're sweaty, your heart's beating really fast and you feel tired. Now, one way that I kind of mentioned is that you might feel your heart beating fast. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to find your heartbeat, or another word for that is your pulse. So I'm going to show you two ways to find your pulse / heartbeat. So the first one is in your wrist. So hold out your arm and go down from your thumb to right about there. And on your other hand, you're going to hold out two fingers. Just place it on there like that. And you might have to stretch around a little bit or press down just a little bit, and you should feel your heartbeat right there in your wrist. So the second way that I'm going to show you is in your neck. So again, take two fingers and just about there, kind of underneath on the side of your chin, underneath on your neck. You might again have to search around a little bit and push down just a little, and you should feel your heartbeat. So something that goes is kind of associated with your heartbeat is your heart rate. And what your heart rate is basically the number of beats of your heart, so every time you feel that pulse, in 1 minute, in 60 seconds. So a normal heart rate for children in elementary school, it varies a lot. It can range anywhere from something like 50 or 60 beats per minute, so times you feel that heartbeat in 1 minute, to anything to like 80. So it's a really big difference. It varies person to person, but also generally as you get older, your heart rate goes down. So as you get older, your heart needs to beat less times in 1 minute than maybe say like you guys, someone in elementary school or someone who is younger. So right now, what let's all do together is let's find our heart rate. So let's count for 1 minute. Just, you can either find it on your wrist or your neck and just count how many times you feel that pulse, and we are going to figure out our heart rate. So when I say go, then start counting, and when I say stop, then stop counting, and we'll figure out our heart rate. Okay, ready, set, and go. And stop. So hopefully you counted about how many heartbeats you had in that minute. For me, I had 72. So maybe you had something a little bit more, something a little bit less. Again, it all varies per person, but that's kind of a way And another thing that you can do to kind of see how your heart rate might go up after you've exercised is maybe take a moment right now and just do like 20 jumping jacks, or jump up and down like 20 times or something. So try doing that, and after that, find your heart beat again, and you'll probably feel how it's going a lot quicker, a lot faster. And that's again one way to tell that you have exercised. So one more thing I want to talk about is let's just go over some different activities and maybe what muscles they benefit. So take something like jumping jacks or jump ropes. What's the biggest muscle that you think this would benefit? So hopefully you said something like your quadricep, which again is the top part, the front part of your upper leg. And that's because when you're jumping a lot, you're really working those quadricep muscles. All right, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is some fun outdoor physical games that you could play with your friends or your siblings, just to get outside, get moving, and have some fun. So maybe you've heard of some of these before, but I'm going to go over a couple. So the first one is the game Red Light, Green Light. And so if you don't know how to play, you basically have like a little field or something, a line here, a line here. Everyone starts here, and someone is calling out either red light, green light, or yellow light. So your goal is to get from this line to the other line over here. Now when the person yells out green light, then you can run over as fast as you can, but as soon as they say yellow light or red light, if they say red light, you have to stop. If they say yellow light, you slow down to a walk. And the first person to get to the other line over here is the winner. Now the second game that I want to talk about is it's a bit similar to that game, called Sharks and Minnows, where again you have two lines, one here, one here. Your goal is to get from here to here, and this time the participants are either minnows or sharks. And what the sharks do are, as the minnows are running across to try to get to the other side, the sharks are running around trying to tag them. And if you get tagged, then you have to just stand there, and you can tag people without moving, just within your arm's reach. So those are a couple of fun games that you could play with your friends outside if you have some space. And I think that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to talk about for today's lesson / video. So again, to kind of recap, we talked about the different muscles in your body. And again, here is the diagram. So tricep and biceps in your arm, abdominals kind of in your stomach area, quadriceps on your upper front leg, hamstrings on the upper back leg, and calf on the lower back leg. All right, and then some some exercises and stretches you can do for some of those muscles. So again, for the quadricep, we have wall sits or squats and flamingo stretch, abdominal sit-ups and cobra stretch. For your triceps, we have push-ups and arm pulls, and for the calf, we have heel raises and a calf stretch. So hopefully you can try some of these out at home. No equipment is needed, just yourself, and it's a good easy way to get some exercise and to strengthen your muscles at home. So again, I will attach this and this so you can take a look at it and look for it as reference. So for the next video, I'm going to be talking, continuing about physical health, but it's going to be focusing more on hygiene, things like washing your hands, sleeping schedules, and stuff like that. So continuing on how to stay healthy physically. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I hope you try out some of those home exercises and stretches.